Welcome back to a Thursday edition of Running Points presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. We stay in the Mahoning Valley Athletic Conference gray tier, and joining us on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, we bring in the girls head basketball coach of the Newton Falls Tigers, Mark Baker. Coach Baker, congratulations on your season to this point, and welcome into Running Point.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the invite. I look forward to it.
Yeah, and when you look at your season so far and kind of where you've been, I know it was a tough loss to Brookfield a couple nights ago, but you got to bounce back against Crestview tonight. This week, from your perspective, what's the state of the team, and how do you kind of bounce back from a really tough loss in a close game against Brookfield?
You know, I think we're finally headed on the mend a little bit. We went through a stretch there where we were obviously playing an awful lot of games in a short period of time, and I want to say we went through a stretch where we played about 6 games in about maybe 10 days or 9 days or something like that. And we just went through a stretch where we had a lot of girls that were just beat up. You know, we had bruises and bumps and sore hamstrings, and I had one with a twisted ankle, and nothing serious, but like everything is nagging. Like the only thing that's going to make it go away is a few days of rest. So we fortunately did get a stretch there where we had a game get canceled on us, and we were able to get a few days of rest. And I thought against the Brookfield game we came out better. We had a lot more energy. I thought the girls played hard. I thought we struggled a little bit to maybe put the ball in the basket, but taking a few days off, and this has certainly not been a normal basketball season by any means. So I look forward to tonight's contest. I think the girls are rested. They're excited to play, and should be a good contest with us in Crestview tonight.
Coach, when you look back on this season, and obviously being in Trumbull County, the entire county shut down by the Board of Public Health in the month of December, was that forcing the issue for you to put the kids on the floor and get as many games as possible in the month of January?
Yeah. Well, first off, when we were shut down, it was so hard to watch other teams in other counties around us play, and that really, it was probably really depressing for my kids, for myself included, because you want to get out there, you want to play. I have 5 seniors this year, and they were certainly dying to play. So that was a really tough stretch. And then, when we do get the okay to go ahead and start going, we actually, we would have started back. We didn't start back until the 23rd of December. And then, unfortunately, we got shut down on the 26th. So we only had 2 days of practice there. And that cost us, we got shut down, and that cost us a few games. So we had to reschedule things again. And you had to get all these league games in. So you're basically playing on a Monday, a Wednesday, a Thursday, a Saturday, and turn around and doing the same thing the next week. So it certainly made things difficult. Our biggest issue, even to this point where we are now, we're at the end of February, I think, to be honest with you, since December 23rd, I think I've had the girls in the gym less than 8 days. Like we've had 8, if I'm counting them in my head correctly, I think we've had 8 actual practice days, because there came a point where girls, we're so tired and beat up, we need to take a couple days off. You guys need to go home and get some sleep and watch some cartoons and just rest up. So we did, when we were shut down, and there was times in December where we kind of took a trick from the Cleveland Browns a little bit. We were doing some Zoom meetings, and I was, the teacher in me was trying to do some odd things. It's okay, we run this set, let's see you draw it, where would you put people, where do they go? And kids had fun with it. They're holding up pieces of paper and stuff in front of the camera and things like that. So we tried to make the best out of it as we possibly could. We did some virtual escape rooms for basketball and some scavenger hunt type things to try to keep us occupied, because to be honest with you, the kids were just really, they really got depressed. It was a low time there for quite a while.
You talked about your 5 seniors that you have. It's a senior-led team. How important was their leadership during all that to kind of keep the team close and keep the team tight-knit?
I don't think we would be doing as well as we are right now if I didn't have 5 seniors that have been playing together since they were in probably the 4th grade. Now, I did get one senior back this year who's been out the last couple of years with a pretty significant injury, but that chemistry that they have with each other because of playing so long, that's something that I would have no chance of developing that in 8 days of practice. No chance whatsoever. And because they've been playing with each other so long and doing a lot of the same things with each other over the years, that really kind of dovetailed things together to make the season to be where we're at right now. And then we've brought a couple younger girls along as well that have kind of joined the wagon and jumped on the train and rid along with us. But without those seniors, I really think we would really be struggling right now. We would really be struggling.
Coach, you're 13 days away from your tournament start. You'll open up the tournament. Yeah, you'll open up the tournament against Sebring, the Trojans, the 14 seed. You get the 3 seed. I'm curious, when's your last regular season game, and are you tempted to shut down your regular season a little early so you can get a jump on practicing prior to the start of the tournament?
It's certainly something that I have had to think about. We have not played as many games as probably many of the other teams around us. They've probably already played some additional games because we've had some get canceled by other schools, and we had our own issues at one point there around winter break time frame. In all honesty, at this point, I'm basically going to play it day to day. I think our last game, the regular season game, is scheduled for the 12th or the 13th of February, and I believe that's a game at Southeast High School, who is an excellent basketball team, and would really be a really good game for us going into the tournament. But we're just going to have to wait and see. I mean, I'm going to have to read my kids' faces and ask them, how are we feeling? How do we do? Do we need a break? Do we need the time off? Do we need to you guys want to play? I know my kids are probably going to tell me that they're going to want to play, but I think, honestly, I'm just going to have to play it day by day and see where the kids are at.
You have one senior who I believe is one of the more underrated and under-the-radar players in the whole area, in Bree Hudson, and she got her 1,000th point of her career earlier this season, and she statistically leads you guys so many times. What's it like coaching her, and what kind of leadership does she bring to the Tigers?
Bree, I honest to goodness, too, I think I have 2 underrated players in Bree and Madison Hated. But Bree is she's a lead by example type player. She's not the most vocal leader on the floor at times. I think I would like her to do that a little bit more. Now, Madison Hated does do that for me. Both young ladies are extremely intelligent, and Madison kind of leads a little more vocally, where Bree does a little more by example. But both those young ladies, without them, we would obviously be really struggling right now. And they're both going to be 4-year letter winners, and both have been all league and made the all district teams. And both those young ladies would have played back when they were freshmen, when we played in the regional finals there against Elyria Catholic and lost in a triple overtime game. Those 2 young ladies were a big part of that team even all the way back then. So those 2 have just kind of driven the charge. In the summertime when we weren't able to do anything, we weren't able to go to open or anything like that. It was those young ladies that were they were organizing virtual basketball workouts, and they were doing stuff at their home, and they would record it and send it to another person, and they were trying to outdo each other, and it really turned into a fun experience, even though we really couldn't be together and all that. They ultimately kind of created almost like a quarantine challenge. Okay, well, I did this many. I did this much time of ball handling, and I put up so many shots of this, or I did ladder drills, and we turned it into a point system and turned it into a big competition. So the kids had fun with that as well. But those 2 definitely were leading the charge the entire way.
Mark Baker, the head girls basketball coach at Newton Falls High School, joining us on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. That loss against Brookfield, obviously, it hurts in a big way in that you have 2 league losses, and realistically, you're going to have to win out and hope and pray that someone knocks Brookfield down a peg or 2 in order to share the league championship. But tonight, you take on a team in Crestview that has some pieces that has always been given Brookfield some problems. Have you played Crestview yet this year? And if not, what do you know of them going into this game, Coach?
We did play Crestview. Crestview was actually our first win of the season this year because we started off our very first game with Liberty on about the 9th of January, who we played on 0 days of practice. That was our first day in the gym from the 26th of December. And then we had to turn around the very following Monday and travel to Champion. And we don't practice on Sunday, so that was the second game we played on no practice at all. We were drawing out of bounds plays in the pregame and we were trying to rep our out of bounds plays in the locker room or passing around somebody's book bag. And that Crestview game, I believe we played them the following Wednesday. So we played Saturday, Monday, and then turned around and played them on a Wednesday. And we beat them here at home, a close game. I want to say like a 35 to 30 game. They're an interesting team. They've got a lot of good pieces. Obviously, they have a standout young lady, Krista Perry. She can shoot it, she can drive it, she can defend, she can rebound. She's long, she's athletic. And then there's a lot of nice pieces that go around with her. There's some shooters that go around with her. They have some, slash role players that really play the role super well. If their role is to defend or to simply, knock down open shots or things like that, they've got a nice team. They've got a nice cohesion of players that play together. And I think their record right now is probably about 10-6, maybe 11-6, 11-7, something like that. They're better than their record shows. They've lost to some really good teams. Obviously, the Mahoning Valley Athletic Conference this year is just ridiculously strong. Probably the strongest the league has been since I've been here, and I'm going on, I think this is my 16th year here at Newton Falls. I don't ever remember a year where the league has been this strong, just top to bottom with that.
Perfect segue, because I was going to ask you about going through this conference and what it's been like. I mean, you look at the teams, you got you guys, you got Brookfield, you're both 3 seeds in Division 3 and 4 respectively. Champion's a 4 seed, Crestview's a 6. Even Liberty's a team that went and gave Poland all they could handle last night. They're tough. What's it been like going through this conference, and how much is it going to prepare you for tournament time?
I hope it would really, we definitely, going into the tournament, have been battle tested, that's for sure. And I don't think the league is certainly out of the question for any team at this point, because Brookfield, even though they might only have 1 loss in the league, they're just starting their second round of playing people, and they have to go to Champion. They have to play La Brea again. I think they have to play Crestview again, who I think they already lost to. So there's several teams out there that they have to have another go-around with again. And they've been fortunate with their schedule and the way they've gone. They've been able to get a little bit of rest here and there. So we'll see. As teams go through and they're having to play on a Monday, a Wednesday, a Thursday. When fatigue starts hitting in, I think the league is really wide open. I think it's almost anybody's ball game on any given night. It's just gonna, it's ultimately gonna turn down to, who gets shots to fall and who doesn't get shots to fall. And I think you're going to see a lot of close games here in the later half of the year.
Mark Baker, he is the head girls basketball coach at Newton Falls. He joins us on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. What is it about the village of Newton Falls and basketball? Not just the girls program, the boys program. Both programs are so damn impressive, and they have been for years. What the heck is going on in the water at Newton Falls that gives you kids and your kids an opportunity or the talent to play basketball at such a fantastic level?
I think, first off, the girls has not always been girls basketball here in Newton Falls has not always had a great tradition. They've had some good teams here and there. I know when I was in school back in the early 90s, late 80s, they had some good basketball and softball and volleyball here. They had a good group come through. I think you really have to kind of go back in history a little bit. I think you have to go back to maybe the times of Gene Zorn, who was a beloved teacher here at Newton Falls, a math teacher, a coach of multiple sports, and he was the boys basketball coach for 30 plus years. And I think he definitely got everything started with things he, with little camps and things that he would do with the youth programs, and he always included boys and girls and things he did. Then handed over to Coach Sembeck, which is here well before me. I mean, I'm just now in my 16th or 17th year here at Newton Falls, and he was certainly an open book to me. I had his daughters on my teams, and he was very open to the things that he was doing with his youth kids, and I had my ideas what to do with youth kids, and we've really just combined everything we've done. I have kids. If I do a skills camp for kids, boys and girls are included. If he does a skills camp for kids, boys and girls are included. So it's really a team effort across the board for multiple reasons as to why the is so strong. We do have the park here in town. I think that helps a little bit. I think that's the local hangout for kids to go down and throw the ball around a little bit and have some fun. So I think that might be a good part of it as well.
You're a teacher at Newton Falls as well as a coach. What's it like seeing the other side of student athlete? We talk about athletes so much, but they're also students. What's it like seeing the other side and seeing them work just as hard in the classroom as they do on the basketball court or the football field or whatever it may be?
You make a comment there that makes me think about a lot of young men and a lot of young women that I've particularly had in the classroom as well as in the court or track and field I've done for a number of years as well, and to see how many of them apply their academics to their athletics that have now gone on to become professionals in their own right. I've got nurses, I've got a young lady who's a physicist. I've got some that are several that are mothers at this point that are the matriarch of their family, and it's nice to see the values that I have tried to teach in the classroom as well as on the basketball court or in other extracurricular activities to see the young women take that and apply it to multiple facets of their life. I've always been a big one. I sometimes kind of thought maybe I was a little bit ahead of the time, but I spent an awful lot of time with my players as well as students about the mental aspects of life. The ability to control the 3 pounds of electric impulse in your head, known as your brain. When you learn how to control that, good things are going to come for you. You become more confident, you become more composed, and life just gets a whole lot easier when you really learn how to control what's going on in your mind.
You bring up something very interesting because we'll harken back to late last year in December when Trumbull County shut all the schools down. The county health board said, we're not going to have anybody play any basketball the month of December. It certainly gave you and your kids that opportunity to really work hard in not freaking out over losing a game that everyone loves, and I think that the fact that your record is where you are right now, it speaks volumes for how you and your kids have handled this challenge of COVID mentally.
Thank you very much. It's been a rough ride, boy. It has been a rough ride, that's for sure. This season has been nothing like I've ever experienced in my 25 years now going on of coaching and teaching. I certainly never thought we'd see anything like this before.
In any sport, team chemistry is so important. And I know with girls basketball and the girls sports, they like to do the sleepovers and the team meals. And this year with COVID, it's just been hard to do some of the things that they like to do. What kind of things, and I'm sure you guys have gotten really creative, what kind of things have you been doing to try to keep team chemistry close-knit in the COVID world?
Ordinarily, we would do we would do a team dinner here or there, or we would do a team bowling night or scavenger hunt or something like that. Being a women's coach, if you're not doing team building activities, you're losing out. So we all try to incorporate some of our team building activities into practice when we can. We have another number of different little goofy games that we play. We have the magic carpet where everybody has to stand on the carpet and get the carpet flipped over without anybody falling off. And we've got our hula hoop idea. Everybody's got to pass with the hula hoop. Different little team contests and things that we can do. My wife and I actually created years ago, because my wife is the volleyball coach here at the school. We created something that we refer to as the Tiger Games, and it's just a series of goofy little contests that we've put together that the kids just love. Some of them involve ball skills, some of them involve nothing athletic to do at all. It might be word search, it might be number crunch, just all kinds of little things, and we have a point scoring system for that. So if you're not doing team building activities with young women, you're missing out, because you have to have that aspect with girls, because they need that time, they need that camaraderie to make that connection with each other.
Mark Baker, the head girls basketball coach at Newton Falls. I think you hit the nail on the head. I don't think anybody has experienced a year quite like this year with COVID and everything that's gone along with it. But at the end of the year, when you can look back, and obviously everyone ends a year with a loss unless you win a state championship. But when you look back on this year, and your seniors go to college or wherever they go, and you're left with the junior class and the underclassmen, how much is this year and the COVID year going to affect this team and strengthen this team long term? How much do you think that will be part of their DNA as we go into the next season and seasons to come?
First off, that doesn't kill you always makes you stronger. So I would hope that we would come out of this stronger and maybe better. Maybe some of the things that we've developed that we've have started doing virtually. Maybe the trend of not practicing so much and maybe spending more time in the classroom or in a Zoom meeting. Maybe that's a little more way to go. Maybe we're something out of the book of some of the professional teams, some of the NBA teams, some of the NFL teams that maybe practice a little less than what you might think they would do, because they do things a little more mentally. There's something to be said about mental reps versus physical reps as well. So hopefully in the long run we come out better because of this. I think academically, hopefully we've moved ourselves a little more towards the digital age, which is where education is headed. So hopefully our kids will benefit from that in the long run. I do think, however, you're going to see some repercussions from it as well. I mean, our junior high kids, my poor junior high kids, have not got to play very many games. They've not got to practice at all. I was not able to do anything with my youth kids this year. My 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grade kids wasn't allowed to do anything over the summer with them. Couldn't do anything with them in the fall. They're not playing in any youth tournaments right now. So I think that's going to put those kids behind a little bit, because let's be honest, here in Northeast Ohio, there's not a whole lot of days from November to March that you're going to go outside and shoot some hoops in the driveway. But I think I think you're going to see a little bit of yin and yang. You're going to see a little bit of both repercussions in the long run. So hopefully the kids that I have been able to have immediate contact with, in the long run, I hope we're better from this. But some of the kids that I haven't been able to access, we may struggle a little bit with them for a while.
Coach, before we let you go, I ask all the players I interview this, and since you've been coaching for a while, I'm hoping that you might have an interesting answer. So, do you have any pregame routines that you like to stick to as a coach that if you don't do, you're going to feel off the whole night?
Well, we have a certain pregame routine for both our players and as well as myself. My players know the expectation is you have a pregame mental workout, which is about a 3-minute and 40-second mental workout where you mentally go through some highlight reels. You go through and you see some highlights of yourself performing a certain way you want to do. You go back and you read, play some highlights of how you in the past, and then you make up some highlights of how you want to perform in today's game. We have a certain routine that really calms us down. It gets us ready mentally for it. For myself, I do a lot of the same things. I spend a lot of time visualizing what is about to happen. I try to visualize what I want to happen. I try to visualize different scenarios and see how I might react to those different scenarios and what decisions I might make. I also Every time before I go in the locker room, I know it sounds kind of silly, but I always get myself a drink of water in a water fountain right before I go in to talk to the girls, and I typically always write a smiley face on with my dry erase marker. So my kids know when they see that smiley that, hey, coach is ready to go. It's time for business. So that's my pregame routine as well as my kids' pregame routine.
Look forward to meeting you tonight, Coach. I have the call on the game on YSN. I'll be the guy wearing the Crestview hoodie. Well, listen. I mean, I broadcast games for Crestview, and the girls gave me a really, really heavy hoodie. I mean, this thing was really nice.
Don't worry.
All right, there's going to be some Newton Falls gear coming down.
I appreciate that.
You give us Newton Falls gear, Coach. We'll be happy to wear it. Okay?
Oh, trust me. I'll be sporting that Newton Falls gear if you give it to me, Coach.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
I wear XXL, so just throwing that out there, Coach. I'm not trying to mooch for any merchandise, but if you're offering,
I'll see what I can come up with.
I look forward to meeting you tonight. Well played on the season. Congratulations on the high seed in D4. And honestly, if you guys go to the district championship against McDonald, I would pay money to see that game because I think you have a shot to knock off McDonald.
A lot of people ask me, you had a choice of going for Western Reserve and McDonald, and I'm like, well, we played Western Reserve last year, and I know those kids. Well, I don't know these kids. Let's go play somebody different. Let's see what happens.
Hey, congratulations on the campaign. Look forward to seeing you tonight, and best of luck to you tonight against Crestview.
All right, thank you, sir. Take care.
All righty. Mark Baker, he is the head girls basketball coach at Newton Falls.